Today we're going to talk about emotional freedom techniques. Emotional freedom techniques, or EFT, can be found in the research either under emotional freedom techniques or meridian tapping or something called bifocal processing or bilateral stimulation. So what I love about EFT is it combines two fields of research. The one field of research is through EMDR, or eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. So EMDR was created by Francine Shapiro, and she realized that if we move the eyes back and forth, which is where the eye movement comes from, so when we move our eyes back and forth, we help the brain process, similar to the brain spotting exercise, we help the brain process what we're experiencing in the present moment, and it really helps calm down that autonomic nervous system, that fight or flight response. And in her research, she discovered that not only does moving the eyes back and forth work to do this for the brain, but any type of bilateral stimulation, so bilateral sounds or bilateral tapping, such as butterfly hugs that I like to teach my son. So any type of bilateral stimulation puts the brain on manual mode and helps the brain process what's going on. And you might ask, well, doesn't the brain do that on its own? And in the short of it, yes, it does, but when we're in fight or flight mode, it tends to get stuck in the right side of the brain, and you can see this in fMRI scans. And so when we place the brain in manual mode and do these exercises such as tapping or brain spotting or EMDR, we help the brain out. We help the brain process what it feels like it needs to hold on to. We help it file it away. So the one field of research is the bilateral stimulation, the EMDR. The other field of research is acupuncture and acupressure. So the science of our meridian points and the meridians that go throughout our body. It's kind of like our own fiber optic network that we have. And so what we do know is that when we apply either needles or pressure to these natural stress reduction points on the body, we calm down the nervous system. We help calm down that fight or flight response. And so Gary Craig said, what happens if we combine those two fields of research, right? What happens if we do the bilateral stimulation on these pressure points on the body? And lo and behold, we seem to have a new magic wand when it comes to really healing anxiety, panic, and post-traumatic stress disorder. And so I'm going to show you just the basic points today, and there's a ton of other meditations and scripts and YouTube videos that are out there, a lot of great tappers. Some of my favorite ones are Brad Yates and Gary Craig and Nick Ortner and his sister Jessica Ortner. They've actually done a phenomenal job of really advertising it to the greater population. Their website is tappingsolution.com, and they have great books that really offer some scripts that you can follow along with. What I have found in my personal and professional work is that if you create your own script, if you are saying what's truly happening for you in that moment, either what are the thoughts that you're having, what are the physical sensations that you're feeling, or what are the emotions that you're feeling and that you're aware of, as you tap on what you're aware of in the present moment, that is what helps the brain process what's going on for you. And so, but just for the recording purposes right now, I'm just going to show you what those points are. So we start with the side of the hand. So this point is between the pinky knuckle and the wrist, kind of right on the chunky part of the hand. And they call that the karate chop point. So if you're going to imagine chopping something with the side of your hand, and you can either do one side or the other. It doesn't really matter which side, or I like doing both at the same time. So you can do it this way. Some people with carpal tunnel might find this angle a little bit too hard. So again, it doesn't matter. It's the same effectiveness whether you do one or both. So this is the first point, and we start with what's called the setup statement. So repeat after me. Even though I feel this way, I choose to love and accept myself. And some people I work with find that hard to say. And so what you can say, if that feels untruthful or dishonest, you can say, even though I feel this way, I'm learning to love and accept myself. Good. And so we repeat that 3 times, and you can be as specific as possible, as specific as you wish. Even though I feel this way, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I still feel this way, I choose to love and accept myself. Good. And so then we go through the points. So the next point is right where the eyebrows start. And I have some clients that tapping can feel agitating to them, particularly someone that might have experienced chronic pain or chronic illness, and the volume of the nervous system is dialed up, and so any type of sensation feels amplified for you. So if tapping is irritating, you can also just rub the points, because you're still stimulating that natural stress reduction area in the nervous system and in the meridian system. So the next point is right where the eyebrows start. And just paying attention to what you're thinking, feeling, or sensing. Not trying to make anything happen, you're just paying attention to it. Next point is side of the eye, right on the bone. That's it. Under the eye, right in the middle, right on the bone. Good. Under the nose. Right in the cleft of the chin. Good. This next point is underneath the collar point. So you're going to find that pointy part of, find the pointy part of your collarbone. You're going to go about an inch over and an inch down, kind of right where it indents there. And sometimes, if you notice, you might already rub that part when you're feeling stressed. So you can rub that part or tap it. Good. The next point is underneath the arms, about 4 inches down. And it's usually a tender point, so you can even rub around and see where it feels tender and sensitive, and then you know you're on the right point. Good. The next point is underneath the breast, right on the bottom rib. Some people call that the spleen point. Next point is center of the chest, right on the sternum. And anytime I tap there, it always makes me take a nice deep breath. So just notice how it affects you. Good. Center of the forehead. That's it. Top of the head. Good. And now on the inside of every finger there's a point as well. So inside of the pinky finger. Next. And again, we're just learning the points. Next. But as you notice what you're thinking, next point, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, or what you're sensing. Notice if any of that has changed since we even started going through the points like this. Side of the thumb. And there's a point called the Gamut Point right on the back of the hand between the 4th and 5th knuckle, kind of right here. And so you can, again, rub that point or tap here. That seems to be really powerful when it comes to fear and panic. And what I love about this point and the side of the hand is you can do this under the desk or under a table, and no one knows you're really doing anything. So I like to teach this to kids at school that might have test anxiety. So they can be sitting under the desk and tapping, and they don't have to feel embarrassed about doing a weird tapping exercise that can help them with anxiety. But this is very powerful. So find out what point feels most powerful to you, and know that the research coming out of Germany right now is showing that you can just tap on one of these points and it still has the same effect. You don't have to remember this whole sequence. I like to tap on all the points just in case, because why not? But if there's a point for you that as you're learning and practicing this exercise that feels great, you can just tap on that one point and that's enough. So again, just notice and think about which point felt great for you. And keep tapping and breathing and allow the body to do the rest of the work.